Guys, I was honestly almost left speechless by the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer reveal. This game has such a ridiculous amount of content, like it's hard to wrap your head around it. I've got all the best parts from the showcase event. Let's watch it together. All right, guys, it's here. Call of Duty Next. I'm pretty excited for this just because, like, I want to see what kind of impact this will have on me as, like, a longtime Halo fan. Pretty disappointed in Halo Infinite. Oh, bro, another half an hour? Is this serious? How would they do this? It's so dumb. So be back in half an hour. All right, here we go. Now we're back.
Hello, everyone. Next. I am Johanna Ferris.
But you know what? It all comes back to one thing. It comes back to fun. Everything we do is in the service of fun. Whether you're a hardcore player or a casual player, whether you are somebody who likes to play with your friends or you like to play alone.
We are extremely excited to give you the world premiere of the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer trailer. Thanks again and enjoy the show.
Cool.
We got intel reports of Hassan and the cartel forming terrorist cells all over the globe.
We've never seen activity on this scale before.
They have an army, but we have each other.
The world is a vampire.
Did my screen just break? I can't see anything. Yo. Am I the only one who can't see anything? Oh no. Oh, there it goes. Well, that other stuff sounded good.
Enemies above. Field charge.
Oh, that was cool.
Eyes on the hostage. You're gonna be okay.
Hostage secure.
Point cover. Decoy. Gotcha.
Is that an Escalade?
Airstrike.
Do not let them cross the border.
Take him out.
Wait. Don't let them cross the border. Wait, what?
Get ready, team.
Is this stop people from crossing the border game mode? Is that real?
They're behind us. Stop, stick out. Enemy healer.
The aesthetic looks really nice. Who knows how these maps will play, but they look awesome. Did they just say third person mode? Oh, underwater fighting? Oh, yo.
I'm on my way.
The world is a vampire.
Pre-order now and get early access to the open beta.
Are they just playing it again? The game looks pretty good, but this is like the most scuffed stream. They're running it back because it was broken. Dude, third person? Oh yeah, this is the stuff we didn't see. Yeah, there is underwater. Oh, they got assassinations. Oh, got a huge chain gun. Alright, you guys can cut it off now.
Enemies above.
Cut it off now. We saw this.
In this game, as soon as we started Modern Warfare 2, we leaned into water, both visually, beautiful caustics, there's waves with white caps, But we also, the gameplay side, there's unique ballistics underwater. You only can use certain weapons underwater. Your pistol is your weapon underwater. Otherwise, you can't use your primary weapons. But it's also a nice cover or evasion mechanic. If you're getting shot at, you can dive into the water, and as you get deeper, it gets murkier. Like the farther you are from something, you can't see it. And so it's been super fun for us to dig into water and really flex on what water could be in Call of Duty. And you saw the boats and the mine that floats, and every piece of equipment has been filtered. Like, how does it work through water? Like, we had to look at everything in the game and say, how does it work in water? What's the best version?
Our vehicles.
Well, you know, last game we did mount, and we had slide, and even though we're a military shooter, fluid movement is super important to us. So this game, as you saw in the trailer, you can see here on the video, we have a new ledge hang mechanic, and that's essentially a high mantle. But instead of doing a high mantle and throwing yourself up over into combat, you can now peek. If you have a pistol, you can pull that pistol out and use that. We also added a dive. You know, last game we had the slide that kept your gun up, but we really wanted players to have an option where if they're getting shot at, they don't know where they're getting shot at, they can get down, get out of fire. But the other really cool thing is the dive's just high enough to let you get through a window. And so if you throw a grenade up into a building's second story, often you'll see players, you know, like rats leaving a ship, diving out through the windows. And it's just another option for players in combat. I mean, you saw some cool stuff in the trailer. You saw the drill charge, you saw the shock stick. One of the other cool ones you saw is the inflatable decoy. And this is a mine that you can throw out, and it basically sits there. And if a player gets close to it, it auto deploys and basically inflates like a car airbag going off. And it faces the person that triggered it, and so it's a great distraction technique. You can also fire it off with a clacker if you want to control when it goes off. You can throw it in water, and here you just saw the DDoS. We added all this equipment into this game, and the DDoS is our kind of answer of like, hey, I'm going to breach this building. I want to go clean house, but I don't want to deal with all the shit inside. So I'm going to hit the DDoS. Boom! It's going to shut down everything, and I can move in, and clear that room. You saw the heartbeat sensor is back. It's got a new look. But it also has a battery as a balancing mechanic, so you can't use it indefinitely in Warzone. And there's so much more.
This is the TAC cam too, which you guys just saw, which
and he
to
said
me
there's
is
so much more.
Team, can you give me some details on Sareef Bay?
So Sareef Bay is this little fishing town in the south coast of our big map, and we picked this because it has such a great mix of gameplay. It's right on a harbor, so we get to show off all our boats and our new amphibious APC, and you know, swimming, as we've already said. But what you get inside the town is this really intense urban combat with all these tight little alleyways and all this great rooftop combat. And mixed with our ledge hang, you get these really cool parkour combat action happening.
Do you mind giving us some details on this one?
Sure. Mercado is a little street market in a historic section in Mexico. Our story behind this is the authorities have some intel that narcotics are being smuggled out of a warehouse, and they're going in trying to find and seize them. This map plays really fast and a lot of action right down that center lane. The Mercado is a very dangerous neck of the woods, so watch out when you're playing in the beta. It plays fast.
So Invasion it's a big war map. It's Big War TDM, or we affectionately call it the shipment of ground war. It's 20v20 players, but there's also 20 AI on each team. AI are coming in fast roping. They're coming in on medium birds. And it's this high action mode. It's super fun, but it's also really chill. The announcer's not barking at you. He's not saying like, hey, get to B, you know, they're taking C. You can kind of play it how you want to play it. You sit up on a rooftop and snipe. You can grab a shotgun and go room clearing. If you push too far into the enemy's base, AI will come hunt you, and it's a super fun mode. Can't wait for people to try it.
Today, and they will be in beta in Prisoner Rescue and Knockout.
Prisoner Rescue. Okay, let's go into Prisoner Rescue first, Joe.
So Prisoner Rescue is an attack and defend mode. It's a round-based mode. The defenders have 2 prisoners. They're kind of spread out, and they need to keep hold of them. The goal of the attackers is to get to those prisoners, pick them up, and carry them to exfil. When you pick them up, you enter what's called a wounded carry, where they're up on your shoulders and you can't use your primary weapons. Instead, you have to use a pistol if you brought it, or you're just stuck with fists. But the way that we give the attackers an advantage once they grab that prisoner is they get a radar sweep for their team, so they can call out where the defenders are. And the objective icon over the prisoner goes away as soon as they scoop them up. So now the defenders have to basically rotate back to the exfil and set up defensive positions. And it's this heart-pounding, adrenaline-pushing like mode once you grab that prisoner and try and get them out.
Yeah, that hero run to the exfil is...
Yeah, you saw a little hint of it in the trailer too. It's been a pet project for us, right? We've always wanted to do third person, and all while we're working on all this other stuff, we've been kind of lifting up and doing third person in each mode. And the cool thing is that it's a modifier on our game, right? We can just turn on third person. In the beta, we'll be playing it in hardpoint, but we want to try it post-launch in S&D. We want to try it in VR.
So I'm happy to say that Special Ops will return as our third mode, and will be focused on 2-player missions, asymmetrical in game design. So think 1 player on air support, 1 player on the ground. And I think the OG fans will be really excited because we've looked at, you know, some of the iconic Modern Warfare missions like Overwatch, and really tried to implement some of those themes into the design. So we'll be talking more about Special Ops in the months to come.
Partner.
I'm speechless. Yes, they haven't even gotten to Warzone yet.
Well,
Empty-handed, I was born. Empty-handed.
I'm so sick of like console exclusive content. It's so whack.
Brand new map to explore and traverse. I cannot wait. Stephanie, let's take a look.
That's right, Miles. Welcome to Al Mazrah. This is our new map for Warzone 2.0.
It's huge. Look at the size of that thing. Okay, so that was a big picture, and it's a great way to see it from a sort of top-down layout. But let's take a better look at some of these points of interest.
So when we set out to create these spaces, the team works to make it feel like a real space, right? So that there's infrastructure in between all the different, what we call points of interest along the map. And if you're paying attention, you might even see a few that seem pretty familiar out there as well. And so as the team works through these, they're trying to find some variety on each point of interest to make them something that the players will want to drop in and get the particularity of that single point of interest and find the place that they want to drop and where they want to play, whether it be a high elevation observatory at the center of the map, whether it be the big city that's up the top right, and whether they want to explore that, or whether they want to work in some of our POIs where we have water intersecting with geometry here. So we have in this one...
Ooh, that looks familiar.
That does seem familiar. And there's a river system that goes through all of this. So you'll be able to catch in a boat and drive between the different POIs. And here's one of our favorites, Sawa Village, which is...
That's my favorite.
Colloquially called Sunken Town.
I mean, I love to swim, so you find me there.
Absolutely.
Bro, so good.
I'm curious what you guys think, Jack and Joe, on what the hot drop will be today, right?
So we've implemented a new physics and handling model for the vehicles. So some vehicles are heavier, some will slide more, have more traction or less traction. And as you're driving them around and you're encountering them and other squads are playing with them, you can choose to shoot off the tires to kind of impact their handling. You can have them, they react to explosives differently based on their weight.
Dude,
so if you're in a heavy armored 4x4 and get hit by an RPG, it's going to kind of bounce a little bit, but not quite take the hit as a small sedan. You can also choose with your squad to be rolling into a POI and somebody jumps out on the roof, somebody leans out the window, and suddenly you get yourself a lot of firepower driving into the POI.
Yeah, I mean, the circle's been a staple of BRs. It's been really hard to move away from it, so we kind of talked about what could we do to mix things up with the circle. So we've got this new mechanic where the circle can actually split, almost like a cell splits, into 2, 3, or even 4 circles. And then those circles kind of close down. And what it does is it segregates teams, and you have these micro battles in those circles. And at a certain point, you're like, okay, we've cleared out our circle. We think we're good. And then those circles merge. They come back together, and you have this very directed fight of like, as the circle's moving, you're like gearing up in buildings. You're like, here we go. It's about to kick off. And as soon as those circles hit, you have that final fight. So it's another kind of like twist in the gameplay that we feel like is a cool world event that would happen. Like, oh, the circle's splitting. We need to do X. The Gulag, you know, we've been experimenting with, we've tried some crazy things with the Gulag. But the current version of the Gulag that we have running right now, where we're excited people to play, is you're not in there alone. You actually have this temporary alliance with another opponent in the map. And you guys, you have to work together. And if you can defeat the other team, you can get out. And after that, you guys are enemies again. But for that moment, it's like, all right, we need each other.
That's
Let's
an interesting
do this.
twist, but you could really like screw someone over.
And the other thing we've been playing around with is you may see a little bit of an AI presence in the Gulag. So you have to be on your toes. Like, you're working with an enemy. There might be an AI here. You're picking up weapons. And we're excited for people to try it. And
yeah, we're going to get...
Absolutely. So strongholds are reinforced buildings that the AI is occupying inside Al Mazrah in BR. And the players can choose whether or not they want to engage with them and assault them to get cool rewards, including free loadout items, which is one of the new ways that we're adding for players to get their hands on their best weaponry. We've worked really hard to bringing AI at scale into Warzone 2, and you're going to encounter them in multiple modes in different ways. In BR specifically, they're in these strongholds, and if you get to a stronghold, you can find the location of a black site, which is going to have even cooler stuff in it, and you can fight your way from one to the next. But in other modes, you're going to find the AI occupying large portions of the map.
One of the most exciting things about Warzone 2.0 is confirmation that an all-new sandbox experience is coming at launch. I am happy to announce
at launch.
DMZ. Call of Duty's extraction mode will arrive with Warzone 2.0 at launch later this year. I played DMZ for the very first time on my first day at IW, and to this day, playing it nonstop, the possibilities with this game mode blow my mind.
Oh my god,
So
dude,
DMZ,
I'm getting chills.
I can
from
also
this
confirm
game.
that
Like, what the
DMZ
hell?
is real. But we're not going to go into depth on it today because we do have to keep some stuff in reserve. What I can tell you, though, is we've created a rich sandbox where you can define your own win condition. You infiltrate Al Mazrah, you accomplish your goals, and then you decide to extract when the time is right. It is played across the whole map, and the AI is occupying large sections of the map, and they are lethal opponents, and they do command your respect. You have to watch out for them. You have to work with your team. They patrol areas, they occupy strongholds, and they'll reinforce based on players' actions. And then on top of all this, you can choose which mission you want to accomplish, or you can chase after a variety of activities in the world. And you can play this differently depending on your playstyle. You can go loud, like I always do. You can go quiet, or you can hunt other players or avoid them entirely. Or you could just decide, hey, I'm going to explore the secrets of Al Mazrah and see what's there.
Loot up, exfil. It's totally up to player choice.
I'm sad they're not showing more, but like it sounds amazing.
I'm really